This is It Was a Thing on TV.
Total Red Man has ever done something like this to me!
It's, time!
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the dregs of humanity!
Episode 308, submission number 257, Mindreaders. Mindreaders aired on NBC from August 13th, 1979 to January 11th, 1980 for 109 episodes.
Are you a mind reader? Yes or no? Will Charles Nelson Riley say yes? Did Sarah Purcell say no? Find out as we play a game of Hunt and ESP Mind Reader. And now here's the star of Mind Reader, Dick Martin.
Oh, you're beautiful. Wow. In the 1970s, specifically the late 1970s, one of the biggest fads out there was supernatural stuff in the sense of like ESP and Sixth Senses. I mean, if you think of people like Uri Geller, the Amazing Randy, the Amazing Kreskin, these are names that sound familiar, yeah?
Yeah. Uri Geller was the guy with the spoons. The Amazing Kreskin was the comic.
And the Amazing Randy was a giant skeptic who outed some shysters.
Did Uri Geller have anything else but the spoon trick?
No, no. This is a 100% honest story. He had an infomercial. This is probably about 1990 or 91.
I remember that infomercial.
Okay, I'm dead serious about this. My family, we, in summer of 1991, we took a little trip for colleges for me, because that was right before my senior year of high school, in summer of around July of 1991. And we were in Cincinnati for 4th of July weekend. And there was some bad weather, so we were pretty much confined to the hotel the entire time.
Right.
And I'm not kidding. My sister, who would have been like 11 at the time, she took a spoon and she started doing his bend, bend, bend. And she actually bent the spoon in the hotel restaurant. And my parents are like, "What the f*** are you doing? Stop that right now." And she's like, "But I just made the spoon bend." Now, I think his was more like a visual effect because, he held it kind of like loosely. But my sister actually bent the spoon at like a 90-degree angle. And my dad was like livid. And my mom's like, "You're going to get us thrown out of this hotel." Absolutely. And I'm sitting there the whole time. I'm like, "You just nailed that infomercial. Go, sister, go." One thing we remember from, like I said, 1990 or so, there's a true infomercial with Uri Geller.
But, okay, all he had was the stupid spoon trick. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. That's not impressive at all. That isn't impressive at all.
He got a full infomercial out of it back in 1990. There had to be
30 minutes of a guy, man. Who cares? That ain't impressive.
30 minutes in late night or weekend afternoons when...
How would my sister have seen it at age 10 or 11 if it aired in the middle of the night? No, this is on in weekdays. Bend.
One trick.
He's a one-trick pony.
One trick he has. That's it.
Yeah, but you know what? It was such a great trick. My 11-year-old sister recreated it in the hotel, and my mom nearly killed her.
Oh, no. No.
Like, I don't know. Make like a man disappear and turn him to a tiger like Ric Flair did as the Black Scorpion.
You made a deal! You told him he could show you his black magic!
I'm letting him do his stuff. Fine, let him do it.
Watch me, Sting. Keep him back dangerously. Remember the agreement?
Throwing him in the cage!
Yes, the cage. Watch now, Sting. Watch what's...
Now hold it! You promised him!
I'll show you powers you never knew I possess.
Whoa!
Sting and magic.
Now you made him a deal! You made him a deal! What is he? What is this?
My powers
I'm not gonna stand for this. I'm gonna jump down there in a second. I don't care about the rules, Polly.
You made him a deal!
Yeah, I don't.
Catch me.
Hey, get back here!
Catch me if you can, Sting.
Get back here!
Maybe at Stargate you have a chance.
What in the world? Where did he go?
Are you saying that Ric Flair is a better magician or illusionist than Uri Geller?
Yes, I'm saying it. Ric Flair is a better magician than Uri Geller. He turned a man into a tiger.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
What
hey,
did I walk into?
That's what I'm wondering. But you remember like 3-4 minutes ago I said that the late 70s was big on ESP and Sixth Sense type of stuff and supernatural type of stuff. And then we started talking about Uri Geller being a giant fraud. So there was a basis for this TV show actually airing because of the popularity of that, of psychics and mind reading and somebody at NBC and also at Goodson-Todman said, hey, let's capitalize on this craze and put this show Mindreaders on the air.
And then somebody said, you're crazy, but okay. I'm guessing that somebody was still Fred Silverman at the time.
Well, it had to be because, again, this is 79, and I know Fred Silverman didn't like his game shows. I mean, we know what happened in 1980 to Hollywood Squares and Chain Reaction and High Rollers. But, he must have greenlit this, especially, again, since we're talking about 79, we know how bad NBC was in 79. Maybe they were that desperate in trying to generate some sort of talk or popularity based on this fad. I mean, that's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a fad because, really ESP, we haven't heard much of it the last, let's say, 30 years or so. But again, talking about the amazing Kreskin, and I know, and again, this is another sister thing, and this must have been about the same time, probably about 1990 or so. She actually bought a board game, the Amazing Kreskin's ESP game. So maybe my sister had something that she liked about ESP and the supernatural and stuff like that. I don't know, but in my basement, I've got her copy of Kreskin's ESP game from like the mid to late 60s. Who knows? But NBC, desperate as they were, took a chance on this, and 109 episodes. We talked about it.
Yeah, here's a fun fact, though. It was on the air for 109 episodes, which translates to roughly 22 weeks, with an episode missing for some reason. It was supposed to be on the air for 26.
Well, maybe that shows how bad it was. Well, I'm going to guess 22 weeks minus the one episode. You got to figure it's probably Christmas or New Year's Day. Because, again, you said it lasted until January 11th of 1980. Bet you it got preempted for New Year's Day. Or Christmas for parades. Or some combination therein, yes.
Some Christmas, New Year's parade combo. Because it did run into Christmas and New Year's right before it was canceled.
Well, and also you got Thanksgiving too. So I'm sure we can find 6 episodes or 6 days that episodes wouldn't have aired. And it makes sense, I'm sure. It's highly doubtful there's actually a lost episode making 109. Well, no, they are all lost, I believe, minus a handful, but it should be lost. It's not a good show.
It's not as good like the Uri Geller spoon trick. It sucks.
It was terrible.
Hey, the Uri Geller spoon trick was still good enough for a half an hour infomercial. So the game itself, it's kind of basic, but also, again, it's kind of stupid. There's really no basis. It's almost like dumb luck, and maybe even a little bit of analysis, a little bit of psychology, if you think about it. But what you had two celebrities, and on each team, you had 3 civilian players. So you had 4 players on each side. And a question was read with 2 responses. Yeah, it could be a yes or no, or true or false, in terms of somebody's beliefs. But there were only 2 responses, so it was not open-ended. Each of the 3 contestants locked in their answers, yes or no answers, on like a keypad, and for every correct answer, the team won $50. However, if the prediction was wrong, the opposing team won the $50. And after one team played their question with the 3 players, control went to the other side. And I do believe this was a battle of the sexes. I believe the men played with the male celebrity, the females played with a female celebrity.
Oh, I can't stand that.
Again, this is 1979. Shows back then weren't. Do I want to use the word woke here? But yeah, a battle of the sexes. I get your frustration and why you don't like that. So after one team played the question with the 3 players, it went to the other side, lather, rinse, repeat. And the first team to get to $300, they went on to the bonus round. And I'm going to just say, based on what they've shown of the few episodes that are out there, if the first team gets to $300, the second team doesn't get a chance to match or beat it. It's game over, I do believe. Highly unfair. It's sort of like Joker's Wild. You remember on the Joker's Wild? Okay, you've got $500. We're going to give the other person one chance to match or beat $500.
Yes.
That rule's not in place here.
Oh, God.
Again, as far as I know. So that's like a major flaw in my opinion. So after somebody hits $300, or after one team hits $300, they go to a 2-part bonus round. The first part is called Judge the Jury. And what happens is each of the 3 contestants, one by one, they play a game involving 10 members of the studio audience where a question is read and they have some sort of control pad on, talking about the audience members have a control pad where presumably they press either yes or no. I think it's all yes or no questions. Again, not open-ended. It's yes or no only.
Kind of like Card Sharks, the 86 version.
With yes or no questions. Oh, yeah, with the surveys. Yeah. Well, we'll get to that in a little bit. It's sort of coincidental you mentioned that. So, yeah, it's a yes or no question. And what the idea is the contestant has to guess how many people in the jury of 10, how many answered yes or no to that question. I think it's primarily yes, but regardless, how many answered a certain way. If the guess was on the nose, the team won $500. If they were off by up to 2, either high or low, so they had a range of 5 here they could have played with, they got $200. And if they're outside of that spread of 5, they earn nothing. So hypothetically, the most they could earn in this first part of the game is $1,500.
Okay.
So that's the first part. They're playing the judge of the jury, playing with the 10 studio audience members. But then the second part is called Celebrity Turnabout. Didn't we talk about Turnabout? What is with NBC and Turnabouts in 1979?
I couldn't tell you.
Where's John Shuck to tell us that this is outrageous?
That's outrageous!
Yeah, another Turnabout on a very short-lived NBC show in 1979. That's the outrageous part. So then the winning team, the 3 members, kind of play mind readers, trying to predict what the celebrity says. And well, the way they do that, again, it's a yes or no question and majority rules. So once 2 out of the 3 civilian players say, hey, we think the celebrity is going to say yes, or we think the celebrity is going to say no, that's it. So there is no dissenting vote there. It's majority rules. And if they predict correctly what the celebrity says, they win 10 times what they won in the judge the jury part. So hypothetically, maximum of $15,000.
That's a lot of money for such little work.
Well, it's a lot of work. And also, I get why you're saying that's a little money because the money is split 3 ways among the team members. So, I mean, they could win, what, if they play it perfectly, which admittedly is next to impossible, they could win, what, about $5,100 a piece because they would win the $300 from the main game split 3 ways, so $100 a piece. And then they'd split the $15,000 3 ways, so that's $5,000. So yeah, they could win $5,100. But again, they have to play absolutely perfectly. Mm-hmm. And the rule of the show was that each team played 3 games. After 3 games, you're gone, win or lose. There's no returning champions in the form of other TV shows. You play 3 games, which may last, I'm going to guess, probably about an episode and a half to 2 episodes. So maybe they got 3 teams for the entire week, or 3 matches for the entire week, 6 teams. And obviously, based on that, the most you could win is $45,900, $15,300 times 3. And again, unfortunately, because the show is essentially gone, we really only know what happened on a handful of episodes. I think there's maybe 2 regular episodes out there, and there's the pilot. And the pilot, since we sort of alluded to this on the last episode, this pilot, the Mindreaders pilot, aired during Buzzr's Lost and Found week last year. And that's actually sort of the inspiration as to why we are doing this episode and Split Personality, because we were sort of anticipating Lost and Found around this time of the year. Yeah, okay, maybe it hasn't happened yet or is not going to happen. But still, a year ago, we wanted to talk about these 2 shows at this time of the year to commemorate Lost and Found. And really, the only redeeming quality this show has, in my opinion, I think it is one of the most colorful sets of any game show ever. Look at the image we have for the art this week. I think that's so colorful. I think that's so bright. Obviously, color TVs were pretty mainstream in 1979.
And the thing of it is, because a color TV was in every home now, and for the last 15 or so years, we've been so used to monochromatic. We needed something bright and colorful in order to get the show on air. So the Mindreaders set needed to be really, really out there. And you would see this in shades of other shows that were airing at the time.
As beautiful as the set was, like I said, it's very colorful, very beautiful, a real nice sight. It sort of gets kind of lost in the shuffle because of the host, Dick Martin, who, bless him, he's trying. Let's say that.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I figured you'd like that phrasing because if you look at Dick Martin's hosting resume for game shows, as far as I know, there's only 3, and really only 2 have shows that exist. I could be wrong, but I believe the only shows he hosted were The Cheap Show, and I think that's going to be a future entry because I'm pretty sure that's on the list. And then he hosted this, and then he hosted Ultra Quiz with Dan Rowan in 1981.
Which is of course, the American version of the Japanese show.
Yeah. So this was really, for lack of a better phrase, his only traditional game show, because really the Ultra Quiz was not a studio game show.
It's basically what would happen if The Amazing Race was a quiz show, a straight quiz, with the ultimate humiliation being left on the tarmac.
I think that's a great description. But also, if we talk about The Cheap Show, yes, it's a game show at its core, but it really was a farce upon itself. It wasn't taken seriously, especially when you have the first round and the second round are worth 1 point apiece, and the third round is worth 20 points. And you thought scoring on the new Pictionary was bad. That's some that's purposely flawed scoring because, again, it's a farce. It's making fun of the genre in itself. But the new Pictionary scoring, no, that's no bueno. It's like it's got golden snitches in there. Well, maybe not golden snitches in the sense of what a golden snitch is, but yeah, you can't be playing for like 100 points and then, oh, hey, we're going to make the last 3 questions or words worth 1,000 points each. I don't like it.
Jerry, what are you doing, Jerry? Stop, Jerry.
No, it's not Jerry's fault. It's the game creator's fault. Jerry's just the MC.
Jerry O'Connell is good MC.
But yeah, Dick Martin, as I said, God bless him, he tried. Can't say he tried hard, but he definitely tried. But now the schedule. And this is not good if you're mind readers. Not just the competition it's going up against, but when it aired. It aired in the traditional death slot.
Yep.
Noon.
12 o'clock noon.
When it occasionally got preempted by news. And if it didn't get preempted by news, odds are it was going up against the local news. But if that wasn't bad enough, on CBS, at least at that time, the network feed, some little show called The Young and the Restless.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, that's one reason why it got killed. But do you want a second reason why it got killed on ABC? The $20,000 Pyramid. But still, 2 huge shows going against little weak mind readers. I mean, we're talking about 2 shows that in one form or another, talking specifically about Pyramid in one form or another, still airs now 43 years later. I mean, Young and the Restless, that's been continuously airing since 73. But Pyramid, you can't hold a bad show down.
Nope.
It came back in 82, left in 88, came back in 88, then left again in 88. Hey, it came back in syndication as $100,000 Pyramid in 1990 or 91. Then it left, but then it came back with Donny Osmond.
20 years ago as we record this.
My gosh, you just made me feel old. Donny Osmond's Pyramid is 20 years old. That's mind-blowing.
Hold on, guys. You didn't mention who hosted the 1990s version. Shadow, say it.
Did he make a vow on the first episode of that show like he did on another show he was on?
Oh!
Yeah, I want to hear, you know what? I want to hear what John Davidson has to say about mind readers.
We plan to be here for a very long time.
Mr. Taxidermist? Rebuttal?
Nope.
So, the Donny Osmond Pyramid, it came back in 2002, left in 2004, then it came back on GSN. Oh my gosh, this is almost 10 years ago that Pyramid started on GSN.
Yeah, but
that was, I think, 2013.
Yeah, but we don't talk about who hosted that.
So no, we're not going to sing the song that we would sing about people we don't want to talk about. No. We're just going to keep it at that, and we're going to look at the glory days right now since 2016 with Michael Strahan at the helm.
And some would argue that the Pyramid has never been better.
And again, proof that you can't keep a good show down. So yeah, Young and the Restless, $20,000 Pyramid, and going up against the local news. Mind readers' chances. Well, let's play mind readers right now. And I'm actually going to use my fact or fiction cards, and I want to see how you guys play this. Okay?
Okay.
So, fact or fiction. Mind Readers was dead in the water when it premiered in late 79. What do you guys say? Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction? It's a fact.
Greg, what do you say?
Oh, hell yes, it's a fact.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said it was fiction. I think it should have ran for 20 years. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I said it was a fact. You guys won. We're Mindreaders. Yay!
Yay! What do I win?
You win the opportunity next week to talk about 2 new shows, but we'll talk about that later. We talked earlier about how the jury round in the bonus game was similar to Card Sharks' questions in 1986 with the panel of 10 people, 10 civilians. There's kind of a coincidence there because both shows, Card Sharks and Mindreaders, both had Mimi O'Brien producing. With that out of the way, yeah, Mindreaders, they tried. Even in 1986, these questions were a little bit too much of a deviation from the norm for Card Sharks. And for that reason, Mindreaders in 1979, trying to capitalize on a big craze with a known personality as a host, even though that person was a little rough around the edges as a host, it was just a thing on TV.
But it was a very colorful thing on TV.
It was again, beautiful set, very colorful. I like the vein scoreboards they had. It looked really nice for 1979 compared to the flippy numbers and whatnot, and the dot matrix numbers. But yeah, it just was a thing on TV that mercifully didn't last terribly long. You know what else doesn't last terribly long?
What's that?
Listening to every one of the 307 previous episodes that we've covered here on It Was a Thing on TV. Now, I want to make a correction to what Chico has been saying about 307 good episodes or one less than the episode number of good episodes.
Oh, time out. Let's play the corrections music.
This isn't really a correction, but it is a correction, actually. Chico, you keep saying, whatever our episode number is, like this is 308, and you say we had 307 other good shows that you can listen to at itwasathingontv.com.
Yeah.
I don't really think we should be adding Rip Taylor in time to that. So there's 306 good episodes at itwasathingontv.com.
No, time out. We could add Meow Manor to that, so it's 305 good episodes.
There you go.
I think we can even edit it down a little bit more. There's been a couple of stinkers that we had. I'm looking at you, Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle show. Let's just say 300, just conservatively.
So there are 300 really good episodes and 7 really bad ones.
Nah, you know what? I think maybe 285 is a better number. There's a lot of good episodes there. You can find them all for yourself at itwasathingontv.com. And obviously, we're on social media everywhere. We're on Facebook, albeit at It Was a Thing on TV podcast, because apparently Mark Zuckerberg was a mind reader and said, no, you're not getting It Was a Thing on TV. We're going to make you put this extra word on because ha, ha, ha. But also, again, YouTube, It Was a Thing on TV, Twitter, at It Was a Thing on TV, Instagram, at It Was a Thing on TV. Please don't forget on YouTube, hit the bell, stay subscribed to our updates, like the episodes, feel free to comment, and yeah, like I said, ring that bell, and that will keep you up to date with everything that's going on with our podcast. Next week, guys, I'm going to talk about the second episode first because we're revisiting another show. We've revisited Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour. That was episode 100. We revisited Manimal. That was episode 299. We revisited Automan for episode 300 just about a month or so ago. 310, we're revisiting a 4th episode.
Yes, and this was something we reviewed in episode 31. So 31, yep. 310.
Do the math. Yeah, we multiply it by 10. That was the logic behind this episode number. Not going to say what it is. Obviously, you can do the research and see what we covered in episode 31, and it makes sense once you see it. But before that, in episode 309, we go to the mid 80s, and oh boy, I remember this one vaguely from my childhood. This one didn't last long, and this one's a stinker.
Oh, yeah. But it didn't harm the career of its star.
Oh no, by no means did it hurt the star. But yeah, the series just didn't run that long. And actually, I think the star would have this would have been his first big break, if you will, I believe.
Well, it's his first TV role because he actually had a nomination for an Academy Award for an earlier role. But on television, this was perhaps his first, maybe his only credit. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that he had other credits, but this was his first. So if you want to start somewhere, you can start here.
And also, one of this person's co-stars would hit it big about a year and a half later on the same network. Now that I got you guys thinking, saying, what co-star in the mid-80s went on to bigger things on the same network about 18 months later? And also, hey, in addition to episodes 309 and 310 next week, we have a very, very special live show coming up.
Oh, for live show 25, we went all out for this live show. It is something that's going to be very special. Hey, Mike, Chico, do you want to make a run for McDonald's?
Well, I can't because I'm on a diet. I've been losing weight, and my Nugenix monitor hasn't gone off because I've been a very good boy in terms of blood sugar.
Good for you.
So no Coke for you?
No, I don't drink any soda now.
No,
I know there's a place you're going with this, but I'm not falling into that trap because seriously, and this is not a joke, I've lost like 25 pounds in the last month and a half.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's true. Yes. But, Mike, let's just hope you don't get sucked into a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, boy.
Well, there's worse things that could happen, like when I'm in my wheelchair, I could fall down a hill into a ravine.
Oh, no.
And then some weird alien creature will look at you like,
that's called Banoodles. She'll look at me and be like, ah! My master fell over. I'm free.
I'm free.
But yeah, so that's next week. 309, 310, live show 25. We got a ton of stuff coming your way right here at It Was a Thing on TV. As always, thank you so much for listening to us. Keep telling people about our show, and we will be here next week with 3 fresh new episodes. Give us a roar, Greg.
Roar!
Say goodnight, Dick.
Good night, Dick.
Good night to all of you, and thanks from all of us